This is Mishlei 18:18, right? That's what we're up to?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Midyanim, which does not mean Midianites. Okay, just let's get that on the table now. All right, Midyanim yashbis hagoral uvein atzumim yafrid. This is the same grammatical form as the you were asking about on Monday for Monday's pasuk, right? I think. Well, I guess we'll see. We'll see. How would you translate this?
Those who do judgment.
Okay, that it's definitely related to the word judgment. I think Midyanim. I don't know anyone who disagrees with this, but I guess we'll find out. Is Quarrels?
Okay. One who quarrels.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or no. I don't think it's one who quarrels. I think it's
Quarrels.
Actually, I'm not sure if it's quarrels or quarrelers.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll find out.
Destroy the lottery.
I wouldn't translate yashbis as destroy, right? Like Shabbos.
Rest.
Like,
Yeah, rest or
Quarrels put the lottery to rest.
yeah, other way around. The lottery puts quarrels to rest. Okay. Yeah. So Isaac, is that you see what I'm saying now about the what was the puzzle we did on Monday in the Monday night shiur? It was I'm just blanking. Ben Maskil Oger Bakayit's Ben Maskil.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. And so we've noted that the syntax, it's really Ben Maskil is Oger Bakayit's.
Oh, it's Minyanim. Minyanim Yashbis Hagor.
Yeah, and so Yashbis is clearly going on Goral, right? The Goral, it's, I mean, you literally read it backwards. Hagoro Yashbis Minyanim, right?
Yeah.
So it's just that, I think it's just like a conventional Hebrew thing.
Yeah. Quarrels, the lottery will put the rest.
Yes, exactly.
But is that like a like an ambiguity, or is that definitely how it's read?
I think it's definitely how it's read. I guess we'll find out when we read others and see. Okay, Uvein Atsumim Yafrid.
Between the sad ones, they.
That would be Atsuv.
Oh,
I think it's between
I'm
the bones.
I thought the joke, but I didn't make it.
That's good.
Yeah.
Amongst the sad ones.
That's
Amongst the
just
bones.
That's etzem, atzum v'rav, gadol atzum v'rav. Strong, yes, right. Between the strong ones, I got right. Atzumim, yafrid.
It's separate.
It will separate. Yeah.
So the vav is part of the shoresh, or core, whatever.
You mean in atzum?
Yeah.
I don't think it's part of the shorish. I think it's ayin sadi mem. It's the same shorish as etzem, but it doesn't mean. Yeah, because I think your bones. I mean, I think it's pretty like clear why bones and strength are kind of like related. Because without bones, you'd be a floppy mess. Yeah. Okay. Also, etzem. I never quite knew. You know how we use like la'atzmo to oneself. You know, I never knew if etzem bone is derived from etzem self, or if etzem self is derived from etzem bone.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely seem related in a way that could be either.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the translation there. So let's do. I did remember. What was that? Will separate, unless there's like a more subtle meaning to Yafrid. But so we've got here. Just look at the translations here. So Metzudas Tzion just says Yashbis is Yivatel, to cancel. Okay. Or to negate or nullify. Okay, so Yivatel equals cancel, negate, nullify. I don't even know if that's different than Shabbos is rest. I feel like the smoothest translation that would encompass both meanings is lottery causes the quarrels to cease, right? I think that'd be probably I'm going to actually go with that for our English for now. Or if you want to really be streamlined, the lottery ceases. No, it doesn't work, right? Ceases quarrels. Can you use it in like?
Ceasifies.
Yeah, that's later. Yeah, I don't know. All right, Sadigon is the one though that I want to call your attention to. All right, now do you want it? Here you go. Thank you. Yeah, so Sadigon top. Oh, sorry. I guess we have to turn the page. Side you go on top right. Yeah, Hagoral Yashbis es Midyanim. Right. So he puts it in the correct order. V'yafri bin hamis atzmim bariv. So how do you translate hamis atzmim bariv? And it separates between.
Or like, I'd say like strong in their quarreling and like that. I guess in their, I would assume in like they're being set in their ways of quarreling.
Okay, well, what's the? I mean, that seems like a good interpretation. But how do you just translate misatmin bariv?
They are mighty in conflict.
No, it's a hispael.
Which one is that?
Self-mighty.
That's reflective. Reflexive.
Right, okay.
Say again.
Self-mighty in conflict.
Those who make themselves look mighty.
Oh, so okay, that's a good point. I was going to say the literal meaning is those who strengthen themselves. Okay, those who strengthen themselves. But then you're also right. Hold on a second. Those who strengthen themselves in quarrel. But you're also right that hispal could also be to make oneself appear. So I'll put that as a thing. I don't recall how Sadigon's interpretation is though. Okay, it could be those who make themselves appear strong in quarrel. All right, fine. Those are two things. And then the Targum, I didn't get anything out of. I just thought it was amusing because he starts off with tigre, the tiger. Now tigre mvatla pitsta. So tigre means. Oh, actually no. Sorry, there was one thing I got in the Targum. Let me. I opened the Joshua pages already. Let me just share my screen and look at it. Yeah. So tigre is. Tigre means, okay, so here's Jastro's entries for Tigre. Heat, jealousy, partiality, okay, to reproach or to complain of injustice. Okay, so I don't know which of those applies here, but like it is interesting that he's being more specific in terms of midyanim, because I don't think, like we said, midyanim definitely comes from the same shorish as din. You know, to like be like a din with someone. I think, but he's like, it seems like he's giving some sort of pirish by translating it that way. So like, and then mavatla pitsta is a lottery. Okay, so let me just write this here. So midyanim, he translates midyanim equals. I'm just gonna type in with Joshua. So heat, jealousy, partiality. That was all one entry. Then to hold on a second here. To reproach and then to complain of injustice. Okay, do we have an art school handy? And is it just me, or is there's no other two volumes of Living Knot, or are they just like hiding somewhere?
Yes.
Yes, what?
Go first.
I guess we won't use Living Knot or Altar today, but let's just see what our school says.
The lottery can put quarrels to rest and cause the contentious to move apart.
And cause the contentious to move apart. Okay, I hear that for Yafrid. Yeah. Okay. So, what are ye old's questions?
Well, what is causing the Herod in the second half?
What is causing the Yafrid?
Yeah.
So what? Oh, are you asking like reading wise or?
Reading wise, I think it's probably the girl.
Okay, yeah, I just wasn't sure what your question was. Okay, so what? So then the question is, so it's not what is causing the Yafrid, it's how does the Goral cause Yafrid, right?
I guess what about the girl?
Yeah, I mean that's why I'm puzzling over the way you asked the question.
No, I was asking if it's the girl.
Okay, you were asking if it was the Goral. What else could it be?
Yes, the Midyanim.
No, it can't be that, right? Because then it'd be plural.
Yeah,
Yashbis and Yafrid I think are both going on the Goral.
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, so how does the Goral cause? Oops, sorry, hold on. Goral cause Perud? Is that the noun? All right.
Structurally preceding that, how does the Goral put conflicts to rest?
Yeah. Okay. How does the goral cause hashbasas midyanim?
And are the midyanim and the atzumim the same person?
Okay, good. Yeah. So who are I guess what are midyanim, and then what are atzumim, and are they the same people?
And what's the goral?
Yeah. What is the
Like
goral?
it's not a Powerball.
Maybe it is. Yeah. Yeah. Right. Because that's a fair question in the sense that like goral, I think, has a literal like drawing lots type thing, but then it seems like this is going to be expanded beyond literally like a goral. So how far do you expand it? Does Powerball work? Rolling dice, flipping a coin. Yeah.
I mean, on the surface, that does sound like it makes sense. That like, if people are fighting about something, then you just be like, oh, flip a coin, and then like.
Yeah, but does that really put quarrels to rest? Yeah.
I'm gonna actually say that's not true.
Yeah.
Let's say I steal something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then we're fighting.
Yeah.
About it. And you're like, oh, you stole it from me. I'm like,
Yeah. Okay. So this really you could just fold this into the question of what are midyanim, but I think a good way to ask the question to acknowledge this problem is like, what are the parameters of this solution? I guess, right? This solution, because clearly in some cases your intuition is indicating that in some cases it clearly like does work, and in other cases it completely doesn't, and maybe even makes things worse. Like imagine if every court case were decided by a magic 8 ball.
Right.
Wait a minute, am I blank? Do we have a court case in the last pasuk? Yes, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. What was the last pasuk we did?
Tzaddik,
Oh,
Burrito,
yeah. Okay, fine.
Uva, Ray, Uva.
Yeah. So I guess this is one where we got to keep at the back of our mind whether the two psukim are connected in any way, because not that this says anything about court cases, but like it did have like a midyanim type scenario. I say type scenario because I don't know if it's exactly the midyanim. Yeah.
I think that I did do this, and this would be for next pasuk.
Yeah.
Next pasuk also says midyanim.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good.
That's a
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. So we're in quarrel territory.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it's associate.
Oh yeah. I mean that is my general assumption. But yeah, we just got to be prepared in case anyone does learn them together. Okay. Is there? What are the other questions here? I mean, I guess our normal question of who is the audience, but let's spell that out though.
Is it those who are in the conflict, or someone, or a third party who wants to resolve it?
Yeah. So is it the midyanim / atzumim, or is it the what do you call people who do that for a living? Mediator. Yeah. Thank you. The mediator.
Funny that sounds exactly like midyanim.
Oh. You see from here that it's Lashon Kodesh. Yeah, if you plug your ears and say it in a mumbling voice, then it sounds exactly. That's the best kind of etymology.
It might be arbiters, depending on. I don't know.
Well, the question really also is like an arbiter really is a decider, right? So like, it's just interesting to think about whether you would even use that to use for a goral.
Yeah.
Mediator is better because mediator is just facilitating something between the two parties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why is the I'm not sure how to phrase this. What's the ubein doing there? Like it just.
Yeah. So let's ask what is. I mean, this is. I guess this would best go after our question about the relationship between the midyanim and the atzumim. Okay, is what is the relationship between the two halves of the pasuk? And the question, who asked this? Isaac, did your mom ask this on Monday night 2 weeks ago about the vavs in Mishlei?
I think it was from.
Yeah, I think it was your mom also, right? So about whether the vav is a but or an and. Here, I feel like this is just a good example of how like I think you'd be hard pressed to say that this is but, so I think I'm inclined to say it's and then now the question is like, is it saying another idea? Is it extending this idea? Is it an elaboration? Yeah. Okay.
So do you say you'd be hard pressed to say this is and? Or
No, there's but.
Okay.
Yeah, because it seems like it's doing the same sort of thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, this is like I don't have a hard proof for it, but
Yeah.
And what's the
I would-
what's the what?
What's the
Yeah, what's the opposite? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll also say that it seems like when the quarrelers are when the quarrel or quarrelers is stopping, they are separating. So like
Yeah.
like a verb.
Yeah.
It seems like it would be.
Right. That it would seem.
It seems like it seems
An
like
and.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So what do we got?
What were the final working translations of Midyanim and Atum?
So we're right now translating Midyanim as quarrels, but I don't know if it is quarrelers. That's the thing I'm not sure about. And then Atsumim is strong ones, which is how I would translate it just based on the Hebrew. And then Sadigon says misatzmim beriv, those who strengthen themselves in quarrel, or like Zev initially translated, those who make themselves appear strong in quarrel.
Okay.
Which of those two, I'm inclined to think it's strengthen themselves, because I feel like making themselves appear strong, that's just like a, what is that doing? You know, like if we can come up with an idea, then yeah, but I just wouldn't be inclined to think that. Yeah.
I didn't catch the asked this, but what does it mean for them to strengthen themselves?
Yeah. Did we ask that? Okay. Yeah. I'll put that in the question of what are atsumim. Okay. Is according to Rav Sadia Gaon, what does it mean that they strengthen themselves in quarrel? Yeah. Okay. So what do we say? Guess we got to figure out here. Well, yeah. Well, what does your intuition say about the first question we have to start with?
You contrast Midyanim and Atsumim?
Really?
Yeah, like personality wise.
Interesting. I would not start there.
Yeah,
And the reason why I wouldn't start there is because I feel like that's like, first of all, that's.
That works better for a but as opposed to an and. Right?
Yeah, if it were a but, I would definitely say that. But I would say like my vibe I'm getting from the pasuk is that that the two halves are kind of saying similar things, and that would be like a refinement of an idea rather than like a foundation of an idea, you know.
Okay.
And also, it's a little speculative in the sense that I feel like unless we know what the pasuk is talking about,
Right.
it's gonna be hard for us to make the distinction.
What does a goral do vis-a-vis conflict?
Yes, I think that's the general question we have to ask, and this is really most connected to our question about what are the parameters of the pasuk, because we already have an intuition of a goral, you know, and so like. But we also know that like sometimes this seems like it could work and sometimes it couldn't. So let's like maybe define the goral and try to get a sense of the parameters, and then using that we can define the midyanim and atumim. Yeah. So what is a goral as a conflict solver or something?
It's something that creates a definitive result in the conflict. And does not have and is unbiased.
Okay.
So like 100% unbiased.
Mm-hmm. Good. So.
Well, I mean, depending on what the coin is by.
Yeah. So it literally ends the conflict, right?
Yeah.
In the sense that it decides an outcome.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that people are going to be happy about it, right? But it does end the conflict in the most literal sense. And it is unbiased. And then can we contrast that with, like, how would you contrast that to non-goral solutions? Like, what is that one category, non-goral solutions? You know?
Yeah, I mean, it has to be like sort of like what I was saying before, that it can't be a situation where like one party, like where there's a claim going on.
Okay.
Like, one party feels they have a claim over something.
Yeah.
And you can't like mediate that. Like you just have to like sort of come to the truth of whichever one is.
Okay. I definitely sense where your intuition's coming from. I guess my question though is still going to be, well, let's put it this way. If you have claims, so then what is the like go-to lechatchila way to solve that quarrel?
Court.
Yeah, court or some sort of like decision based on the claims, right? In other words, like I think that's the sense I'm getting here, that you basically have
there's like types of quarrels where you need someone to think about it to come to like the like correct conclusion, and then there's things where there isn't a correct conclusion.
Like like who starts a football game? Like,
Right.
That's not like we both want to start, but
Right.
it doesn't.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say comment about what I just said.
Yeah.
Which is I think framing it in terms of that is gonna, the way that I framed it is not good, because when you have like a quarrel about something that is not like that when you're having a quarrel about something that, even something that's being decided by the girl, I think the two sides still both think that they're right.
Yeah.
So the way that I framed it was not so good.
Tell me again how you framed it. I just want to.
I said that it's where there's like a correct conclusion.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because this is what I'm struggling with. This is why I'm hesitating when I'm hearing everything you're saying. Because I agree with what's being said so far. But my question is like, are we what's going to be the most conservative approach here? Saying that you have certain types of conflicts where this puzzle applies and certain ones where it doesn't, or like, could you have a scenario where like you have a conflict that should be decided based on claims, and then you use the Goral, but it's a question of when.
That'd be kind of crazy.
I think
How?
Like, is this guy like Clyde Misa? Like, let's flip a coin.
Right. So clearly that would not be a
I'm saying,
rational way
you
to do
have
it.
to say categorically certain cases.
I don't know.
I mean, obviously that's an extreme, but
I'm not sure, and I'll tell you why. Oh, you want to say something? I think, yeah.
I haven't thought of it.
Okay, yeah.
But that any case where each party, where at least one of the parties holds that the other side has no legitimacy whatsoever,
Yeah.
then that cannot be decided by an oral.
Okay, let me argue with both of you. Okay, is what happens if you get to a situation where each side does have a claim, and you can't decide it based on the claim?
Right. Like you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah.
Arguing. Yeah.
Or each claim is equally good in its framework.
I don't know, but this is definitely not the right answer. Meaning, if like in any case like that, there is a right and a wrong.
Yeah, but what if you can't decide it?
So I don't know. Figure out a way to decide.
So what would be a good way?
Just to clarify.
Wait,
I
no,
don't know.
I'm gonna push this.
Trust the court system. Let the people who are supposed to figure those things out figure those things out. You know, like if like let's say there's a like a close traffic accident, it's my fault or his fault.
Yeah.
Flip a coin, like no, that's ridiculous. It is someone's fault.
Okay.
You know, so I don't know. I don't need to suggest the answer. I'm just saying this is not it.
Okay. All right.
You know,
I beg to differ. Yeah,
we'll
we'll see.
That's what the court system is built to do.
Yeah.
To clarify the case that you're asking about. Would you say that that's like, let's say I say that, like Zeb says that I stole something from him, and I say no, I didn't, and there's no proof either way.
Or you each have equally valid. Either there's no proof, or you each have equally valid claims from different perspectives, or whatever, and there's no. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say that a coin flip would, or whatever, a go-all would not work. Not only is it not a good decision, it would not work in terms of what's talking about. Because if let's say I really did steal it from Zeb, and the coin flip turns out in my favor, he knows that I stole it from him, and he's not gonna like it might put an end to the court proceeding, but it's not gonna put an end to the conflict because he knows that I stole it from him.
Well, this is going to depend on how we define the conflict, right? How we define midyanim.
Right. I mean, like this, Goral seems like the correct answer in like football game, who gets the ball first, or like who gets the last piece of pie in the fridge, like that type of thing. Like,
right.
Or it's just a toss-up.
Well, the thing I don't like about those two examples is those don't seem to me like
Quarrels. That's what I was thinking also. Yeah.
Like they're quarreling over the last piece of pie.
Right, like everyone wants it. No one has to have more of a claim than
Right.
anyone else, but everyone wants it, so they're fighting on it.
Right. Right. So can we state what those are? What that category is? Because you can make arguments about it also, right?
Yeah.
You could say that like
I had less pie,
right.
and
And that's what ends up happening a lot in these scenarios. Is people make arguments,
Right.
Yeah.
and that's maybe what makes them into a quarrel. Again, starting the football game, that I don't even think is actually a quarrel at all. That's just like, that is using a lottery system. That's not a quarrel because there's no, just like when people play the lottery, do you call that? There are 10 million quarrelers who are all, no, it's like you're using lottery as a device to like allot something, but it's not a quarrel, But the pie, I see.
Yeah, I'm gonna start calling people who play the lottery
Quarrelers. They're quarreling with Yisron. Yeah.
Quarreling over the pot.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's the category that we've narrowed it down to so far? And then once we narrow it down to that, then maybe we'll see what the atumim could be, or misasmim.
I don't know if it's accurate, but it seems like cases with no like real moral answer.
No moral answer.
Yeah.
It's not like a true or false. It's just like of who should get the pie. Just like.
Is that what you mean by moral, or do you mean like objective, or do you say moral like as an ethical like?
Yeah, I think some both a little bit. Like,
Okay.
I don't think there is an ethical answer. Like, who should get the last piece?
All right.
Maybe right and wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna object to that in that I don't think that there is an ethical answer in general to questions outside of a specific framework. I mean, you can define a framework of ethics.
Yeah, that's why the term ethics is just still a little confusing to me because beforehand we were talking about in a legal, legal framework. So is legal and ethical synonymous than we were using? Like,
I was assuming that the legal system being applied is an ethical one. Yeah, so essentially the same thing.
Okay.
What I'm saying.
But in the pie case, is there a legal framework?
I don't think so.
Right. Oh, I see.
Yeah, it's Hefker, right?
So
Let's say,
therefore
yeah.
it's not no ethical question.
Right.
I see.
Yeah. So, I'm starting to realize here that there is another question we have to ask, which is, isn't it kind of obvious that you flip a coin if if it's complete? In other words, you can't make the case too strong, otherwise the puzzle becomes obvious, right? If it's a complete toss-up, then obviously you toss a coin. That's why we call it a toss-up. So let me see. Hold on a second.
Like no one would say that you should decide the start of the football game by the arguments that people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right.
No, and I guess like what you were saying, that in the pie case, they do definitely, there is a possibility that people are going to start feeling like, oh, I deserve this more than him, even though it is Hefker, and legally you don't deserve it more.
Yeah.
But, I had, half a piece before, he had a whole
Right.
piece, like, whatever. So you're going to start, like, marshaling arguments.
Yeah.
And
I mean, look, people even use arguments like "I'm older" or like "I like sibling arguments."
so it becomes arbitrary
yeah.
at that point.
Right.
So once you're going to have an arbitrary.
You must have had younger siblings.
No, I don't know if it's right. People are just gonna kind of they have a conclusion that they want. They want the pie. So
Yeah.
they're gonna, like go back and post off to like try to figure out answers.
Yeah.
Reasons for why they should take it.
Yeah. So what? So that and you're saying that that's different than like a normal argument where the nature of the thing, the reasons kind of like precede the quarrel.
Yeah.
Here you're saying like people get into a quarreling situation because there are no merits on either side, and then they retroactively or afterwards try to come up with arguments to justify their position.
Right.
Whereas in a court case, that's the opposite. Really, is like
Yeah. So I'm going to speculate an answer based on that.
Okay.
That when there are cases where people have like reasons for their positions, and then that reason causes their conclusion.
Yeah.
Like let's say I saw him steal from me, and now I'm quarreling with him because of that.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, people come to conclusions because of their desires.
Mhm.
Like I want this pie, so I should have this pie.
Yeah.
And when you have a case like that, where the conclusion isn't because of the arguments, but the arguments are because of the conclusion, and the person thinking about it like they're not thinking that it's not that they think that they just want the pie and that's why they're arguing for it, but because they want the pie, they're thinking about whether there's a reason for them to have it.
Right. When
when the arguments are based on their conclusion, then if you since they don't really have any more of a claim than anyone else, like thinking about it from the beginning, then what the lottery does is it like shifts the anchor from who gets the pie to do I have any reason why that person should not get the pie and I should, because it like creates a decisive.
Yeah.
Like.
Okay, but so this introduces another wrinkle into the matter, because you're saying that you're acknowledging that there are cases where people think that they have reasons and they actually don't.
Yeah.
So my other question, from a practical sense, is even if we find a scenario where a lottery would put the quarrels to rest, then is that enough? Meaning, like, what if one guy really feels like he actually deserves the pie because he wants it so badly, and the other, or if they disagree about whether to use a lottery, like, in other words, can you just impose a lottery and this will work in any case? Or like if these two people in their eyes, if in their eyes this actually is like a real court case, but we know that it's actually arbitrary and these reasons are just coming from their desires, is a lottery going to help then or not?
Yeah.
This is part of the question of what are the parameters of the plaza.
Yeah, I think to specify a question about that.
Yeah.
Is, are the quarrelers choosing to go to a lottery, or is a lottery being imposed to themselves?
Yeah, so I'll add something to that effect here.
Yeah.
Is do the quarrelers have a say in the implementation of the lottery? Yeah.
And also, if they both agree to go to use a lottery,
Yeah.
and then it then turns out that lottery is not the favorite. They agreed, and then they're gonna have us be like, okay, this one.
Yeah. All right, I actually have to go now, but yeah. So all right, I think we got the questions enough to the point where when we look at the Mefarshim tomorrow, then we'll be able to have a basis.